great. That's great.
On what Ripple is doing with the grant for the Web Foundation, because they're essentially giving money to people to build on the XRP ledger. And the thing is that this is where, like you said, this is where the true value comes into play with people building applications on these blockchains. That's the only way, you know. So like that's why I like projects like Coil, who's actually looking to use XRP in a way to allow content creators to monetize their content through micropayments. So like things like this is developments like this is what we should be paying attention to, right?
Yeah. It's and that's the thing. Like the thing with that is when different companies and different technologies, they're gonna have either a set of customer base or a set of clientele that they're gonna be using, that they're gonna be participating with their technologies in a manner that it'll bring volume onto the networks because they're using them, and they're using them because they have to use them because it's actually providing them some value to their business.
Yeah, I had a quick question. First of all, I want to say I love XRP and XDC. Specifically on the XDC network. Actually, in general, I want to know, Quincy, your thoughts about running nodes, in general, and then also, what do you think about running software, cloud software nodes, like for example, like a StoreX, because I know Microsoft mentioned like how everything's becoming more cloud based, and that's going to be more growth in that. Like you just talked about, the need of it, and who's going to be using that stuff. So I was wondering your.
Yeah, so I think one thing you're gonna see is sort of a weird merger between blockchain and cloud. And I think the biggest thing will be, yeah, people run different nodes in the cloud, and it's mostly because it's the most convenient way to do it, and especially in regards to getting high availability and making sure your uptime is 100%, or at the very least as close as it can be. And in regards to the nodes themselves, I think different networks have different nodes and different incentives around those nodes. So every node you have is supporting the network in some way, and then they may have a set of rewards or a set of incentives based around however that network operates to be able to gain some sort of resource. And it could be a token, it could be whatever it is. Each network is a little bit different, but most of them have some sort of incentive mechanism around them. One thing that's funny is XRP doesn't have an incentive mechanism around it for its validators because the best incentive is no incentive, as David Schwartz says, but most of them do have some sort of incentive mechanism around them for people operating these nodes.
Hey, so Critical, I think that you were waiting patiently with your question, and sorry that we skipped you here, but we need to move to Critical Thinker.
Hey, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all the mods, man. I love you guys and the XRP community. Quincy, man, you're a genius, bro. And I just want to say thanks, man, for all the tutelage and the knowledge that you're spreading. Um, I'm one of those people that, kind of like got in, not specifically for the coin, but for the utility of the coin, because I found out what XRP and some of these other assets were going to be utilized for. So I have a question for you, man. I'm in the middle of a pitch, let's just say. I've already done the pitch, and I'm in the middle of creating a budget. And this budget is for the Negro Leagues. And I've essentially pitched to them some domains. And earlier, you guys were talking about rights, right? Well, I've been in, contact and discussion with the president of the Negro Leagues, and he's telling me that I'll have access to pretty much all the memorabilia, all of the film, all of the pretty much everything in the museum, except for the rights to the people of to the players. Now, here's the thing: the president kind of like explained to me where we would essentially have to go to the estate and negotiate with the estate. Well, he kind of like defined where he would essentially do that in our honor for us. so that we wouldn't just be going in there haphazardly. So essentially, we have the estate on our side and the museum. So with that being said, we're looking to build out like a museum on the metaverse and to sell these NFTs, you know, through this museum on the metaverse. Man, I've reached out to like Dapper and companies like this, man. Like, if you could give me like one or two companies to maybe reach out to kind of like see about developing this, does that make sense?
Yeah, actually don't even know. It's kind of a problem I run into where the talent needed to build a lot of these is either just insanely hard to find or just non-existent. And I think the biggest thing comes down to the best way to find anybody that can help you with anything is to find other people that are just like-minded and have the same like goals that you may have. And because yeah, I'm literally in that predicament now where I'm trying to find people to help collaborate with some of my projects and trying to find talent, and it's basically next to none, and the talent that there is out there is expensive and not very good. So it's like it's a weird predicament to be in, but I think it's because things are so new to where not a lot of the people that are in the space are either working for these top companies or are selling like shit coins or whatever. But even the businesses trying to get into the space, what I've seen are the ones that want to get in are a little hesitant, and the ones that are sort of in are like sort of dipping their toes in, not to where I don't know how to describe it, but it's really hard to find anybody that can help with anything, and I've seen this firsthand. Now, in terms of regulation, that's just going to be sort of it's sort of a I like it's almost like a duck, duck, goose of regulations where the SEC is just gonna be going duck, 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 and then they may call goose for this one like they did for Ripple or call goose for Coinbase or whatever. And I think part of that has something to do with let's call it like financial politics, I guess you could say, and different organizations. And this is me being sort of speculative, but it's more of because different people have different feelings on where crypto should be. There's always going to be this weird. No one's gonna know who's gonna get picked to be, get slammed down on or not. But I do think it's gonna be almost entirely arbitrary based off the sentiment of regulators. So it could almost be like we don't like you, so we're suing you, or it could be something like it could literally be anything like that, to where because there's no rules, anything can go, and it's almost like a minefield of regulation that anybody is gonna have a hard time traversing.
That kind of brings us back around how, it's unfortunate that a lot of the good talent and innovation is largely being chased out of this country because of the situation that we have here, which is very unfortunate. So I think with that, we have one more question, Joel, and then otherwise we've turned off hand raising, and then we'll start to do our wrap up. So go ahead, Joel.
Thank you. Nice to finally get a chance to speak with you, Quincy. I actually go by Castro on Twitter, so you may have seen a few of my messages or posts to you. I think one of the biggest things that you brought to the space for me was getting to think about using the ledger as compared to focusing on the price of the asset or some other organization's development of the ledger, right? And so, with that being said, I came in late, so I don't know how much of the conversation you might have had, prior to me coming in about that very concept. But I view the ledger as being very versatile, right? And so I would like to have at some point, another conversation involving a lot, everybody in the community that, likes the XRP ledger, right? And what it could potentially function as, just to bring solutions to our everyday lives, right? So not necessarily to bring value to the token, but just the potential of the ledger to bring solutions to real world problems, right? And I know I've had some myself that are kind of out the box thinking, but I think we should all be willing to push the envelope of possibility because, I think being 50 something years old myself, right, I would have never envisioned that there would have been a blockchain at all, right? And we have one. So I don't think that, there is a necessary ceiling that we can conceive. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that and I'll yield back to you.
Sorry, can you see that last part you cut out?
Yeah, no, I was just basically saying if you had previously had any other conversation about the potential. solutions that we could bring to our everyday lives by the use of the ledger.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the simplest thing that people can do in regards to, I guess you could say, the layman is, if you, and this isn't, I guess this isn't so arbitrary, but if you have some sort of business need or some sort of product, or, and it takes a little bit of creativity for this, because obviously it's sort of integrating a solution that you otherwise wouldn't have done on blockchain and finding that solution on blockchain. But I think that's like the number one thing that anybody, and it's one of those things where like it sounds like, wait, really, like anybody? No, if you have a solution that needs to be, if you have a problem that needs to be solved, and you can potentially use blockchain as a solution, whether it's settlements or automations, or you want to build an app, or you want to build some function, you would have had to have done it anyway on some sort of solution, whether it was a traditional architecture, cloud. You would have had to have done it anyway. So I think the simplest thing people could do is, well, instead of considering the traditional way of building, let's say, a website, what's a way that I could take my already established idea and use blockchain to, build that website or whatever it may be. And it can literally be anything. It can be a website of, an advertisement for your gym, or it can be a complicated type of social media, or whatever you were already thinking of doing. Why not think of a way to do it on some of these other technologies? And I think one thing that people end up seeing if they do that too is they'll end up seeing sort of the benefits of doing it on these different technologies as opposed to doing it in a traditional infrastructure, because they'll be seeing it firsthand based off whatever their needs are.
Thank you for that, man. I guess we could just close out by saying one thing that I would definitely like to see, and I think the world could use it, is just transparency as it applies to politics. And so there needs to be not only voting going to the blockchain, and we need to be insistent upon that, but even just the aggregation of data as it applies to polling and all of those different aspects of the political life, right? And so we all take for granted when they run a poll that someone's trusting those numbers are the actual numbers of that poll. But I don't trust it personally. And I think to have some transparency in that arena would bode well for politics, but it would also be a business proposition in that, if we are the controllers of that data and it's on ledger, then maybe those people who need that data, right, will be willing to pay for it, and we could disseminate that value over the network. So just giving a random idea out there.
Yeah,
No,
your lips to God's ears.
yeah, I think you're totally right. I think that's something that could very easily be implemented, because yeah, having that transparency is sort of golden in regards to something like politics, in regards to being able to trust the different bureaucrats that you have in office. But yeah, I think for sure that is almost an absolute. It's almost absolutely necessary moving forward into the future internet.
Hey, so with that, I would love to start wrapping things up. I would encourage everybody who's been enjoying this and listening to this amazing presentation by Quincy to please follow the moderators so that you're notified when we have rooms like this. We're always having various guests and all kinds of interesting conversations like this. So take a moment to follow everyone who's the moderators. And then Christian, if you guys want to do any wrap-ups there. Christian, I don't know if you want to lead the wrap-up round.
Just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Quincy, once again, always a pleasure to have you with us here at the XRP community. We created this space for everyone to learn more about crypto. We're all XRP holders, but we are very, very much big on just the technology, the fundamentals, and we're not maximalists in this room. So it's a great space. We like to foster productive conversations, and we like to ask questions, and we bring great people to the stage on a regular. Be sure to follow the mods, follow Quincy, give Quincy a follow, and follow your moderators. We're so glad that you guys could join us tonight, and we hope that you guys were blessed and got a lot of great information from tonight's conversation.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned a lot. I kind of felt bad because I feel a little sick, so I felt a little off my A game. But I hope it was very knowledgeable for you guys.
It was amazing, Quincy. If that's your B game, I can't imagine your A game. It was great. You did great.
Yeah, we
Thanks.
appreciate you.
Just a quick disclaimer: this entire broadcast is going to be available on Quincy's YouTube channel. So shout out to all of Quincy's followers. Thank you guys as well for listening in. And again, anyone here that currently doesn't follow the XRP community, follow us here on Clubhouse. Great things ahead. I know it won't be the last time Quincy will be with us. This is just one of many. And as we continue to see the ever changes that are happening in the crypto space, we're going to continue to come back and have these great discussions as we see all of this innovation happening in the space. Bully, I'll give you the mic and take us all.
We love you,
Yeah,
Christian.
no, yeah, no. I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. This really was a great discussion, and yeah, follow the room, and not only follow, but become a member of this room. We will try to have more discussions like this in the near future. But yeah, we have some major things planned ahead for this community. Thank you again for tuning in, and see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I love being here.
We love you, Bully.
Thank you,
Love you
guys.
too.
Thank you, Quincy.
It's the fan
All
club.
right,
Thank
Good
you.
hearing
all
from you,
right.
Christian.
Take care, everyone.
All right, we're
XRP
going
to
to
Yeah,
the
close.
everybody take
moon.
care.
All right, we'll close
XRP
down
to
the
the
room.
moon.
Woohoo! All right, thanks everybody for joining.
Bye.
Take care.
Yay!
Later, everybody.
All
Bye.
right, bye bye.